Hello. Okay, today I'm actually going to ask you the questions before we start reading. This is going to be for chapter 12 of Fish in a Tree. So, chapter 12, this chapter is going to be a little bit different because it's going to take place, a lot of it's going to take place in Allie's mind. It's going to give us a lot of things that she's feeling, a lot of thoughts that she's having. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's not the narrator of the book necessarily speaking. It's more we're getting information from Allie's mind. So I want you to pay attention while I'm reading to see if you can tell where it switches from the book telling the story or Allie's mind kind of giving us the information. Okay. And another thing that I want to talk to you about is, so when you're a good reader, sometimes you have to pay attention to how things feel, not necessarily just the exact words, but sometimes you have to pay attention to what the characters are feeling and maybe like the mood that's going on in the chapter, and how what the characters are doing to make that mood change or to make you feel that. So something seems to be happening in this chapter to Allie and what she's feeling. So I want you to kind of focus on that. So what you're going to do today is when I'm finished reading, you can send a message telling me or Miss Whitener what feelings you can feel from this chapter, what are some of Allie's thoughts, and how do you know, like, what words in this chapter are making you feel that or get a sense of what she's got going on. Okay. All right. So this is chapter 12. What's your problem, Albert, is the name of the chapter. Light from the hallway pours into my room as my mom opens the door. Hey, honey. Hey, I came in to check on you. You seemed very quiet at dinner tonight. Something going on? Mean kids at school. Oh, Allie Bug, I'm sorry you had to put up with that. What happened? Well, the kids who were mean, yeah? I was kind of one of them. Oh, she says with a sigh. I'm surprised by that, Allie. Tell me what happened. Those girls that came into Peterson's that time, well, they asked me to have lunch with them. I sat at their table, but then they started being mean to this kid named Albert about his clothes. I looked up into her eyes and went along with it. I went along with it, and I felt really bad about it. My mom brushes my forehead with her fingertips. You're not a little girl anymore, Allie, so it's not too soon to decide what kind of person you want to be. Of course, I know what kind of person you are, and I'd love you for it. She kisses me on the forehead. You made a mistake. Everybody does. Just do your best to make it right. That's all. The words I'm sorry are very powerful ones. Yeah, okay. I'll make it right with him. That's my girl, she says, kissing my forehead one more time before leaving. The next morning at school, I am wondering how I can make things right with Albert. I'm drawing a pigeon wedding in my sketchbook. I don't know that Keisha is standing behind me. You drew that? I move my arm to cover it. Why would you cover it? If you could draw like that, I'd put you on a commercial. Thanks, I mumble. I don't know why I'm embarrassed, but I am. Kesha sits in her chair as I stare at her head full of thin braids, thinking of it must take 3 days to do all that. So beautiful. I just love it. Not like my boring hair that just hangs there. I reach out to touch her hair. She turns toward me all of a sudden. What are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. There was a mosquito. Sometimes I can't believe the things I do. It's like my arm has its own brain. Uh-huh, says Keisha. But then Albert walks in and he looks upset. I want to be able to tell my mom that I made things right with him, so I go over to him. Albert, are you okay? I ask, wondering if he'll tell me this, to strap myself to a rocket and light the fuse. I have a problem. I'm sorry about the cafeteria thing, I said. I blurted it out. He raised his eyebrows. That didn't bother me. No need to apologize. It didn't bother you at all to have a table full of people make fun of you? You're kidding? Why would I be kidding? Can it be that he really just doesn't care what people think of him? We just stared at each other. If that didn't bother him at all and his new problem really does, then it must be really bad. Maybe it has to do with the bruises he has all the time. Can I help? I asked. No offense, but I don't really think so. Oh, okay, I mumble. It's just a problem that I can't get out of my head. I feel like I won't be able to relax until I find an answer. Do you want to talk about it? I know sometimes when I have a problem, I talk it out with my brother or mom. Even if I don't find an answer, I feel better anyway. Well, I wait. I've just been wondering, if an insect is flying inside a moving train car, is it traveling faster than the train itself? And if the insect flies in the opposite direction that the train is moving in, is it then traveling more slowly than the train? Obviously, if the fly is on the wall, it is moving at the same speed, as long as it isn't walking. But the movement within movement is a puzzle to me. Oh. He turns to me, a little intense. You can see the problem here. He doesn't talk. He tells. I know he doesn't really think I can help. Who knows if I could possibly figure out the science part of what he's talking about. But my mind shows me the insect in that train car. It's a dragonfly with brilliant greenish blue wings and tiny goggles over its eyes. The car is old with dark wood walls and dark green curtains, like from Grandpa's westerns. And the people have old-fashioned clothes. I see them like they're with me now. Some of the men are sleeping. One is waving the dragonfly off a newspaper, not even noticing its tiny goggles. Ladies with the most beautiful dresses sit there too. And I see a girl who's with her mother, and her mother keeps asking the girl if she is enjoying the ride. And the girl keeps saying yes, being sure to have a happy sounding voice. I don't know everything about that girl, but I do know that she has a lot more to worry about than an insect on a train. She doesn't fit in. She's all dressed up in fancy clothes and has to pretend to be someone else she's not. She wants to muck around, help build fences. She wants to ride a horse the real way, not side saddle like her mother insists. When I come back from my mind movie, Albert has already walked away. But I don't care. I can't help thinking about the girl on the train and how she feels. Like she wants to do so much, but she's held back, and it makes her feel heavy and angry. Like she's dragging a concrete block all around all the time. I'd like to help her break free from that. Okay, so think about in the chapter when it switched from the book telling a story and from Allie telling her, and she calls it her mind movie, right? And think about any feelings that you kind of got from this chapter or any moods, how the characters were treating each other, if it was any different this time. Maybe how Allie was feeling in the beginning of the chapter compared to the end of the chapter. So a couple things to think about, and write down your answers or your thoughts and send them to Miss Whitener or myself. See you tomorrow. Bye.